I canceled the wedding venue my fiancé had spent 8 months planning, rebooked us somewhere completely different, and didn't tell him until 48 hours before the ceremony. And yeah, I know how that sounds. But once you hear what that original venue actually was, I genuinely don't know if you'll blame me. Okay, so my name is Dana. My fiancé is Marcus. We'd been together for 4 years, engaged for one, and the wedding was supposed to be the happiest weekend of our lives. Marcus is, I want to be fair here, a genuinely good person. He's thoughtful, he's warm, he remembered our first date anniversary for 3 years running before I even did. I love him. That part is not complicated. What is complicated is his mother, Sylvia. Sylvia is the kind of woman who enters a room like she's been announced. She has opinions about everything: floral arrangements, invitation fonts, the exact shade of white that is acceptable versus tacky. And from the moment Marcus put a ring on my finger, she inserted herself into every single wedding decision like she was co signing the marriage certificate. Marcus saw it as love. His mom was excited. She wanted to help. And look, I tried to see it that way too. I really did. I bit my tongue through the centerpiece debates and the seating chart revisions and the comment she made about my dress, reading a little casual for a church setting. Which, by the way, it did not. But here's where it gets specific. The venue Marcus chose, the one he was so proud of, was his family's old country club, the one his grandparents had been members of for decades. Gorgeous property, manicured grounds, big colonial building with white columns. Marcus had actual childhood memories there. He talked about it like it was sacred ground. I had one problem with it. One, the club had only integrated its membership 11 years ago. 11. And my family, my black family, my grandmother who raised me, my aunts and cousins who were flying in from 3 different states, would be celebrating my wedding at a place that, not very long ago, would not have let them through the front door as members. And when I brought this up to Marcus gently, he said, and I'm quoting, "That was a long time ago, Dana. It's different now." I didn't drop it after that conversation. I came back to it twice more over the following month. The second time, Marcus actually listened, like, really listened, and said he'd think about it. I felt hopeful. I thought we were getting somewhere. Then Sylvia happened. She called me, not Marcus, me, and said, very pleasantly, that she understood my sensitivity about the club but that the family had a legacy there, that the deposit was non-refundable at this stage, and that she was sure my family would feel perfectly comfortable once they arrived. She used the word sensitivity 3 times in that conversation, like my objection was a mood I was in. I told Marcus about the call. He said his mom meant well, that she was from a different generation, that I should try not to read into it. And I sat with that for 2 weeks. I sat with the image of my grandmother, who is 81 years old, who marched in 1965, walking into that colonial building to watch me get married. I couldn't do it. I couldn't ask that of her. So 3 weeks before the wedding, I called the club. I explained there was a family emergency and we needed to cancel. I lost the deposit, my money I had saved, not Sylvia's. Then I called a vineyard 40 minutes outside the city that I'd always loved, explained the situation, and they fit us in. Same date, different everything. I told my mom, I told my maid of honor. I did not tell Marcus, not for 2.5 weeks. I told him 48 hours before the wedding, in our living room, because I had run out of road and I was not going to lie to his face at the altar. His reaction was it was bad. He wasn't yelling, Marcus doesn't yell, but there was this quiet that was somehow worse. He said, "You made a decision about our wedding without me." And I said, "You made a decision about our wedding without me first." And he said that wasn't the same thing, and I said, "How is it not?" And we went around that circle for 2 hours. Here's the part I can't defend cleanly. I kept it from him for nearly 3 weeks. 3 weeks where he was still referencing the club, mentioning the rehearsal dinner logistics, texting the event coordinator there, telling his friends about the grounds. And I let him. I didn't correct it. I told myself I was waiting for the right moment, and honestly, I think I was also scared that if I told him earlier, he'd try to fight me on it, that Sylvia would get involved, that I'd lose. My maid of honor, Priya, told me I should have told him the day I made the call. She wasn't cruel about it, but she was clear. She said, "You were protecting your family, and I understand that, but you didn't give him the chance to protect them with you." And that landed. I'm not going to pretend it didn't. Marcus's brother called me 2 days before the wedding and said what I did was a control move, that I'd made him look stupid in front of his family. And maybe that's true. I didn't think about how it would land for Marcus, just how it would land for mine. We did get married. The vineyard was beautiful. My grandmother cried the good kind of tears. Marcus's parents came, and Sylvia was polite in that specific way that means she's storing it for later. But Marcus and I haven't fully resolved it. A few weeks out now, and there's still something sitting between us. Not a wall, but a thing. He says he trusts me, but then adds, I just wish you'd told me. And I don't have a clean answer for that. I know why I didn't. I'm not sure that knowing why makes it okay. So here's where I land. My grandmother got to watch me get married somewhere that never told her she wasn't welcome. That part I would do again. The 3 weeks of silence? The letting him make plans for a venue I'd already canceled? I don't know. I genuinely don't know if that was protecting my family or just protecting myself from a hard conversation. So, am I the problem here? Because I keep turning it over and I can't get it flat. I had a real reason. It was a good reason. And I still kept my own fiancé in the dark about his own wedding for 3 weeks. Both of those things are true at the same time, and I don't know how to weigh them against each other. Honestly, though, what would you have done? Comment below.